Chus, you reported on something last night, and I'm not sure if Stan saw this yet, but you texted me and let me know this, and you made a short for the YouTube channel that some people might have seen, might not have seen. Mike Tomlin is stepping down as the Steelers head coach.
All
They
right.
they
So,
just made the playoffs. What's going on here?
well, so there isn't a lot of context or background too much on it yet, so we don't really want to jump the gun too early on because obviously this is new developments here. But yeah, over here jumping the gun. He's going to step down? Well, we don't know if he's actually going to step down.
The
But
gun has been jumped.
All right, don't jump over the gun. All right. Don't speak too soon. But there is being reports. Adam Schefter talked about it on NFL Countdown. I believe it was yesterday, saying that there's chatter around the league that Mike Tomlin could be stepping down after this season. He has 1 year left on his contract, and the Steelers aren't looking to fire him. In fact, they were looking to extend him, as reported by the organization, like probably midway through the season, probably like October, November. But there's been no extension as of right now. So there is a chance that Mike Tomlin could just be, taking a break. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, obviously he's heard the noise over the last, 10 years, probably more or less, more than like 17, I would say, because like a lot more people were really excited about him winning the Super Bowl in 08, taking them to the Super Bowl in 2011. Approval and disapproval rates kind of have gone like waves over the last 10 or 12 years or so. But it's definitely interesting. But I mean, I wouldn't blame Mike Tomlin for taking a break, just because he's been doing it forever. Just coming from like a personal standpoint, like Mike Tomlin has kids, and I believe 2 of his kids have already graduated college, and he only has 1 kid left that's in college, and she's a freshman, I believe, or sophomore or something. So she doesn't have much time left. And he's been coaching for so long, and, watching your kids just kind of grow up in front of you is kind of unfortunate, especially when you want to watch them play or participate in sports. And I know that his sons were big athletes and whatnot at, I believe one went to Boston College. I don't think he got drafted or anything, but he still played. So, obviously they would still love the opportunity to watch them play and whatnot. But there's a lot of coaches that are like that. Even going from a local standpoint, for anybody that's familiar with the Pittsburgh area, I think that, if you guys know of TJ McConnell, who plays for the NBA, there's a coach here, Coach McConnell, who's coached WPIAL basketball, which is high school basketball in the region for years, and has been acclaimed as one of the best WPIAL coaches of all time. And he finally decided to take some time off after losing in the semifinals last year in the WPIALs. And the reason is he wanted to watch his kids play ball, because TJ's in Indiana for only so long. And we also don't know how long TJ is going to stay in the NBA. We hope for, a couple more years, obviously, but he's getting older. And then his daughter, Megan, she's in her last year at Duquesne playing women's basketball there. And we don't know where she's going to end up, if she ends up in the WNBA or anything else. But he stepped down. He resigned after 2 or 3 seasons. And he played even, many, many more seasons previous to that. And it was because of family. So it could just be a situation where Tomlin just wants time to spend with his family. Maybe he's tired of all the drama, the nonsense, and maybe he just kind of wants to enjoy some time off. Now, granted, obviously he could pull Sean Payton and come back and, play for a different team like the Chargers or Commanders, or maybe even, step in again for the Steelers in 2025, I guess, at that point. But I don't know. It's a remain to be seen, but there is chatter around the league that he could step down.
Yeah, so we have kind of been covering Mike Tomlin aggressively these last few weeks, and as you can see, I threw the Tomlin Defender Arguments bingo card up here, created by Social Psycho on Reddit that I found. So, Chus, you went through and responded to every single one of these at one point in our text group chat. Do you want to just respond to a few of these? Do you think Tomlin should still go? Do you want Tomlin to be the head coach next year? What are your thoughts?
So for me, as I've said over the last, couple of weeks in these podcasts and stuff, all I've wanted to see from Mike Tomlin is progress. And I want to see us win, and I want us to see us get a playoff victory. And we are very close to that right now. I mean, we squeaked in as the 7th seed, but as Stan said, this might be our best chance to win a playoff game in the last couple of years, since probably 2020, I would say, when we should have probably beaten Cleveland going 12-4, but we had that collapse. So it's been a while, and I just wanted to see progress. We've had developed teams. We've had really good teams, and we've just fallen short, losing in the divisional to the Jacksonville Jaguars by 3 points, losing to the Cleveland Browns at home in 2020. And now, obviously, you get blown out in 2021 playoffs or 2022 playoffs, whatever you want to count it, against the Chiefs. I mean, if you want to throw that, you want to count that, whatever. Nonetheless, this could be our best shot. And all I've ever wanted from Mike Tomlin is progress. And since he hasn't won in a while a playoff game, it kind of is almost stagnant for me. And if he can prove to me that he can win this playoff game against the Bills with Mason Rudolph, your 3rd-string quarterback, in the backfield, and you've rallied your team, you've motivated your team enough to win a wildcard game where you were the 7th-seeded team, and you're going into Buffalo, who's the 2nd-seeded team, and beating them at home, and then going on to the divisional round, because then at that point you're going to be versing Baltimore, where anything can happen because it's a divisional rival game, and we've beaten them twice this year already. I really think that if he can prove it to me, then I'm more than happy with him staying as coach. But the problem that I've had with Mike Tomlin for the last couple of years is being stagnant. And yes, he's had winning seasons, and he's done really good, and he's had no losing seasons, and I get that. But sometimes we just kind of want progress. And while these other teams are having all these Super Bowls, you're going through watching the Eagles have rebuilt, and now they're going on, and they went on to win a Super Bowl in 2018. They went to the Super Bowl last year. You've seen Kansas City, over years and years rebuild their team and finally get Patrick Mahomes, and they've had a legacy built. You're seeing these teams go to the Super Bowl. You're seeing these teams develop and having winning records and stuff. And it just feels like the Steelers have just been stagnant. They'll have one really good season and then just fall short in the wild card or divisional, and then that's it. And all I've wanted is just some sort of progress where it's oh my gosh, we won a wild card game. I just want some hope. And I haven't had hope. Over the last, multiple years where we've gone into playoff games, I've been oh, we're going to win, and then we don't. And then in Kansas City, I was we ain't going to win this one, and we did it. And now this time around, all the Steelers fans are everybody in the comment sections, if you look at Pittsburgh social media right now, everybody's saying the same things. We're going to the Super Bowl, parentheses, I'm delusional, because we don't believe. And I want a coach that's going to make us believe. And if he can win the wild card game, and even if we lose in the divisional, he'll give me a little bit more hope that we can win. And it just is going to take a little bit, because then if you win against Buffalo, you won without TJ Watt, and now you're going and maybe you lose to Baltimore. Oh, well, the fact you made it this far is crazy enough to me. So, I wouldn't be against it if he came back next year, but obviously I've been pushing for change for a while, so I guess I should probably stick with it. I wouldn't be against getting a new coach in 2024, but I mean, I'm not against Mike Tomlin staying if we can consistently make playoffs and get a playoff win sooner rather than later, because TJ Watt's getting old, and we're not going to have much time left with him. And it's kind of just one of those things where it's I want progress, and I'm happy that we're in, and now let's get the job done and get that wild card win. And I truly believe my opinion will change heavily from a couple of weeks ago, maybe even a month ago, when I said that the Steelers organization should be sold or whatever. I didn't say that, but you know what I mean.
Thanks for watching that video, guys. If you want to check out a most recent full episode of No Buts About It, that's going to be right over here. Yeah, right there. Check that out. And if you just want to see more short clips, we're going to have one right over here for you to watch. Check out No Buts About It on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you listen to podcasts, so you can listen to us on the go. Once again, have a great day and go do something nice for someone.